10 WWE titles that lost their worth and was treated like a prop. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Number 10, the European title. The European title was introduced in WWE in 1997, and it was a way to build interest in the product in European markets, as well as give WWE another mid-card title that could be defended across TV, live events, and pay-per-views. For the first 2 years or so of the title's existence, the title was booked well, with names such as Val Venus, X-Pac, and D'Lo Brown being excellent champions, and their reigns helped give credibility to the title. During these 2 years, the title acted as a great stepping stone for either the WWE title or the Intercontinental title, and due to how deep the Attitude Era audience was, this was a smart move on WWE's part. As they pushed towards the end of the Attitude Era, the European title became a burden for WWE to book, as there wasn't a single memorable reign between 2001 to 2002. When the title was retired in 2002, it was seen as a long time coming, and it was about time the WWE put that title out of its misery. Number 9, the 24/7 title. The 24/7 title was always going to have a tough task of getting over with the audience. From the moment the infamous title was introduced by Mick Foley, fans were already loathing the title, yet over time they gradually came around to the concept. The primary reason as to why fans started to enjoy the title was thanks to the work of R-Truth and Drake Maverick. Both names put a ton of effort into making the title mean something, and their antics were some of the standout moments of the title's run in the company. Unfortunately, when Truth or Maverick weren't in possession of the title, it completely fell apart. The title was treated like an utter joke, and if a wrestler was seen chasing the title, it was a sign that WWE Creative had nothing for that specific wrestler, and that they would consider them a low-card talent. Number 8, tag titles. And WWE, specifically Vince McMahon, had a love-hate relationship with the tag titles over the years. In the Attitude Era, the tag titles were presented incredibly well, and this was down to the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian, as all 6 men reignited the tag division. While some iconic teams were presented in the Ruthless Aggression Era, the tag titles legitimately dwindled, and this was despite there now being 2 sets of tag titles for each respective brand. When WWE pushed forward into the PG era, the presentation of the tag titles would receive vast yet fair criticism. The tag division would be virtually non-existent, and most of the reigns would come from 2 names thrown together, and they would refuse to create any substantial or long-term teams. Thankfully, due to legendary teams such as The New Day, The Bar, and of course the Usos, the tag titles over the past few years have been presented somewhat well, as the aforementioned names are legitimate draws for the company, meaning that WWE has no choice but to present these teams and subsequent tag titles as if they mean something. Number 7, women's tag titles. It was a positive step forward when the WWE introduced the women's tag titles in 2019. The titles would give the women something outside of the main title to compete for, and to the WWE's credit, they spent the first few months of building a healthy tag division. Ultimately, it didn't take long for the women's title to be an afterthought, and their treatment was scolded by fans as well as WWE talent, with the likes of Naomi and Sasha Banks even walking out of the company over how WWE wanted to present them as tag team champions. Whilst the WWE has a number of active tag teams on the roster, the women's tag division isn't exactly exciting, and it's a rarity to see the tag titles defended on a premium live event. Due to the standing of the titles within the company, there have been calls from fans for WWE to ditch the titles and introduce a women's mid-card title, which would be a great step forward. Number 6, US title. Since the WWE reintroduced the US title in 2003, the lineage of the title has been up and down, with there being some outstanding reigns and some reigns that fans wish to forget. In 2015, John Cena won the gold, and Cena embarked on one of the greatest US title reigns of all time. Cena would debut the US Title Open Challenge, and Cena had classic after classic each week. Additionally, due to Cena being the face of the entire company, the US title was given major spotlight across all areas of WWE programming, and some would say that in the summer 2015 that the US title was the single most protected and illustrious title in WWE. When Cena eventually dropped the title, fans hoped that this positive trend of presenting the US title like it mattered would continue. Yet surprise surprise, the moment Cena dropped the title fell off almost immediately. The title would slowly be relegated to the pre-show of pay-per-view events, and the likes of Cena, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins would no longer be in the running for the title. It was instead lackluster names such as Alberto Del Rio, Ryback, and Kalisto. Number 5, Cruiserweight title. The Cruiserweight title was in such a good position on SmackDown in 2003. They had the likes of Rey Mysterio and Tajiri stealing the show with the aim of becoming a champion, and the formula for success for the Cruiserweight title was quite simple: give talented wrestlers time to have great matches. Unfortunately, WWE never fully committed to making the title mean something outside of this brief time period during the Ruthless Aggression era. And whilst there were some memorable names to hold the title, including the two we just mentioned, as well as Gregory Helms when the title was retired in 2007, it was in an abysmal place, and fans were ready for it to go away indefinitely. It spoke volumes about what WWE thought of the title that Vince McMahon decided that the final champion should be Hornswoggle, which was a massive disservice to the lineage of the championship. Number 4. Universal Title. WWE introduced the Universal Title in 2016 as Raw's new world title. The appearance of the title was instantly questioned, and for the first few months of the title's existence, the legitimacy of the title was a hot topic amongst fans. Thankfully, the inaugural champion Kevin Owens did a decent job in what was a difficult task in establishing a new world title. In 2017, the status of the title changed as Goldberg won the title in a squash match. His reign would be brief as Brock Lesnar would win the title and embark on an extended part-time run with the title, which did little to market the title in a positive manner. Between 2017 to 2020, the title was seen as a joke by many fans, and it wasn't until Roman Reigns won the title in summer 2020 that the title began to be looked upon as a legitimate and worthwhile world title. Number 3. Intercontinental Title. The Intercontinental Title has been one of the titles that WWE has had a weird relationship with. Sometimes they would put considerable effort into making the title mean something, and this is usually when a credible wrestler is given the strap. The years of 2010 to 2015 were years in which the IC title was treated like a joke. While some reigns were decent, the IC Championship was traditionally booked to lose every single non-title match, and this in turn frustrated fans who just wanted to see the title presented well on screen. In a celebrated move since taking the reins at WWE, Triple H has put new focus on the title, Gunther becoming the longest reigning IC champion in company history, and it was a reign that restored every ounce of credibility back into the title and ultimately made it just as valuable as the world title. This was down to strong, consistent booking and tremendous work from the ring general, who didn't have a single bad match during his historic reign. Number 2. WWE Title. And there were times throughout WWE's history where a WWE title reign did a massive disservice to the prestige of supposedly the most important title in the company's history. Take for instance, in late 1999, the WWE title was changed hands far too often, and names such as Vince McMahon and The Big Show were champions. Whilst Big Show would eventually become a legendary talent, his reign in 1999 was shockingly bad, as he was feuding with lower mid-card names such as Big Boss Man and Prince Albert. Fast forward to 2017 and they made the controversial call to crown Jinder Mahal as the new champion. This received unfavorable reviews as Mahal was a jobber and he was suddenly now supposed to be taken seriously as WWE's top guy. Mahal's lengthy reign was filled with lackluster title defenses and without a doubt hindered the status of a once prized possession. And number 1, the World Title. The World Title, aka Big Goldie, is considered by many to be the greatest looking wrestling belt of all time. The title looks incredibly prestigious, and when the title was reintroduced on WWE programming in 2002, they did somewhat a decent job in presenting the title as on par with the WWE title. This was helped thanks to top names such as Triple H and Shawn Michaels competing for the title, yet over time, the way the title was booked drastically altered. They would deliberately present the title as inferior to the WWE title, and when Raw and SmackDown merged in 2011, the World title was presented more of a mid-card title. The title was placed in the opening matches of pay-per-view events, and in 2013 at WrestleMania 29, the world title was contested between Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger, which fans hilariously compared to as WWE Superstars match. Towards the end of the life cycle of the title did surge in relevance, and this was thanks to the likes of Daniel Bryan, John Cena and Randy Orton, yet the stain from the horrendous booking from the prior years simply just couldn't be forgotten. But there you have it folks. 10 titles that lost their worth in WWE and treated like a prop. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.